All right, so we live. We live. Oh, my mic good. Got a new microphone, so checking it out. I got actually two new headsets. I'm actually thinking about what's gonna be the best one for me. I got two headsets. One of them old school. Been hollering at me. He need a new headset, so I might shoot that one to him. But trying to check out what's gonna be the best one for me for the shows and everything. Just dropped another 200 on aftershock headset, immaculate. It has um no what's cons to go over the ears, the little mics to go over the ears, well the speakers to go over the ears. So that's gonna be a plus for it too. So as it stand, I ain't doing that, but doing a little work around the house. Finna get ready to do some running around. Got a little light day. Finna go take the kids over to one of my partner house. Finna get in the pool. Then go do a little light work. Then I'm done for the day and get prepared for tomorrow. Tomorrow gonna be, as a coach used to say, elbows and assholes, and we running. What's going on? What's going on? Tone in the house. What's going on, Tone? How you doing, man? Seen you earlier. Random woman over here. Yeah, we here. We in the building. Want to have some discussion today. Somebody hit me in one of my videos and want to, take the conversation a little further. So I was kind of waiting till they come in the building to see if they want to drop the link for them. Let them come up here and talk their piece. You know, uh, as it stands, it's a lot of good little conversations being had last week. I heard about some tragic things that happened. You know, you could say it was in the space, but it wasn't in our space. But needless to say, it did happen, and you know, that's some things that need to be discussed. And going forward, my biggest thing is I'm finna lay back from off of pro panels, man. I've been talking to some people, and they was basically saying about me going on the panels. You know, I got to get what I get when I go on the panels. So if I don't like the conversation, don't like the way the things are headed on the panels, just don't go on panels no more. Because God told me I can't save everybody, and some people are too far gone to an extent to listen anyway. So I have to make a choice. If I go on the panels, and the way the direction of the panel is going, that's what it is, and there's nothing too much I can really do about it. But jump off the panels or try to redirect the conversation. And in this case, it's kind of hard redirecting the conversation when you got things going on, speeches in the building. Yeah, y'all got me today where I can go ahead and look at the profile and stuff like that, see everybody coming in. But the more people come in, I'm probably gonna slow off on that because my thing is to stay on topic, to just go ahead and keep the conversation going. I see the names and go ahead and highlight them. And as time goes on, the conversation gets more and more and more. But one of the things that I want to talk about is Kevin Samuels and what people think. Because for the most part, Kevin, like I said, you can't deny the stuff that he's saying because, as Gold Professor always talk about, he lets people know about the behavior, and when it come down to it, that's all that's basically being talked about, with the women and their behavior. I'm not saying that all women contribute to that, but you know, there are a lot of women who have as the old people say, a dog in the fight. Because when it come down to it, you know, it's not a sense of like people say about checking other women and their behavior. I mean, being honest, you can't check grown people. You know, You can only tell them so much, let them guide themselves, and other than that, you just can't check grown people. It is what it is. You know, parents always tell you when you get to a certain age, you grown. My aunt always say, grown people do grown stuff. So it is what it is. She ain't gonna challenge no grown person. She ain't gonna put no grown person in their place because they grown. Now, when it come back to bite them in the butt, that's on them. But before that, you grown, so you gotta handle yourself accordingly the way grown people do. So, coming about paying bills and all that stuff, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Cause mainly, like I said from the jump, my channel is supposed to be based on, family oriented, men and women being married and stuff. Because in the end, I see a lot of stuff that go on in the space, and I don't have that in my life. I try to redirect guys and they train of thought or the stuff that goes on in their life they see in this space, and you know that's not your life, man. Don't sit here and follow a path that's not of yours. If you don't have a problem with getting women, why are you gonna go on the panel and make it as if it's hard for dudes to get women? Because naturally speaking, I mean, there's a lot of dudes that really don't have sex like people think they do. You know, and it's all about you coming out. I mean, the most people who approach women, you kind of approach them wrong, so you get bad results. And so you come under the impression that all women are the same. Not so true. When you approach women at a certain way, they're gonna take you for pretty much the way you come at them. So if you come into the scenario or the situation of whomever trying to get sex, talking about how fine she is, well, she probably can look at you as that's all you want from her. And if you come at the situation, you know, from a standpoint of just trying to get to know her, she might still think you coming at it for the sex part, but it won't be as obvious what you trying to get to know her versus trying to get in her pants. And that's the thing. A lot of guys don't know how to talk to women because when it come down to it, I mean, honestly, who put you in the mindset of talking to women? You know, we talk about these single mothers. We have fathers that's in the house that are not teaching these boys stuff too. So let's don't discount that two parent household, always give the best outcome because if you was a son of a single mother, you never was, around too many men, grew up, had kids, you're gonna teach your kids the same thought patterns and everything in which your mom taught you. And so that's gonna spill over into you, the young man. That young man's gonna grow up and teach his kids the way his dad taught him, his mom taught him. So in return, the cycle still goes on. So all the guys I hear him talking about single moms do this, single moms do that. You got to hold some of this onus on the single fathers. I mean, the fathers in relationship as well that don't know how to, I always have a tough time with that word. Just being masculine. Let's leave it at that. Not being a man. I'm just gonna say being masculine and know how to, stand in the word, stand your ground in a relationship. You know, and I always say when a woman picks a man, whenever she's out there and the dude's out there, he's a D boy or whatever, it's not because, you know, she picked wrong because she didn't know no better. She knew what she was picking. At that time of her life, she wanted a bad boy. When she get older, that's when she started to realize, the pill kicks in and says, well, all this time these older ladies told me to, go get an education and live my best life. In return, I'm single, they're married and miserable, and that's the funny part. You miserable in your marriage, but everything at your feet, everything you want, everything that you need. You need a new car, your husband go gets that new car. You need you know, um, let's say wash and dryer goes out, your husband goes and get that wash and dryer, or you and your husband together work out a plan to get that wash and dryer. Because when it comes down to it, you know, you can say a marriage is still being a partnership to an extent because the men that treat their women good and they actually, you know, talk with each other and have agreements, disagreements, whomever. But the point of it is they're having the conversation. And with having the conversation together, they can understand do's and don'ts. You know, if that was the case, the man just walk around just call his woman a bitch all day. You know, and he said anytime you want, I can run upstairs right now and call my wife a bitch and see what the results is. So when it come down to it, having a conversation with your woman is never a bad thing where you come to an agreement and a disagreement because that's always going to happen in relationships. And when it comes down to it, having that conversation with that woman, you know, that's the biggest thing that starts the whole relationship going into the marriage that I figure. You know, I could be wrong to an extent. I haven't only been married for 15 years, and that's not a lot of time. And as BGS and everybody, we know I'm married to a Jamaican woman, and in the culture, it's slightly different. And like I say on several channels, I never went after a Jamaican woman with the intent of, you know, just going after a Jamaican woman. I went after the intent of being married to a good woman. Just so happened she was Jamaican, you know. And so save yourself, which I look at it as the Passport Brothers, because saving yourself is just like taking the red pill. In my opinion, I'm not saying in my feelings, but in my opinion, with the whole SYSBM, it's a standpoint to where enough is enough. You don't got to a point where you're not just messing with these women because you keep getting bad results. You know, take a step back, understand what you're doing, how you're doing in the relationship, and what's going on. You know, I can't keep falling for the same thing. Now, going into the whole passport bros, these are the dudes, in my opinion, that just go over there, overseas, and look for those women. You know, they got a raw deal over here. They think their odds are better across the pond, so they go across the pond for a new life. You know, but a lot of guys are still getting misunderstood because their guys have been on panels, talked to, and they went overseas and say it wasn't all what I thought it was, but you know, the chicks were cool. Because guys on here are talking about this magic bubble over there, overseas, and it's to be, you know, the land of milk and honey. You know, you pick for your desires, but you got guys in the space that have been over there, know the ropes, know the ins and outs, know the hot spots, know the different places to go to. How many of these guys connecting with each other and actually going over there trying to find a wife? We've had that on panels, you know, to where the guys will be on there talking with each other and they're having an understanding. Okay, once you go over here, this is the place you need to go to. A lot of guys have this have this, you know, mindset to where when they go overseas, women just gonna be falling from trees or, you know, running to get at them. You the bait. Because when it come down to it, have an understanding. There is the internet that is everywhere, and a lot of people hear about, you know, American men going over there to get those women. Now, you have the women over there willing and able to come back to start a new life. You know, might not even be that much in poverty over there. But the point of it is, it's better in America. You have a little more options, you know. And to that extent, they come over here, have a good life, have the family and everything set up, everything's cool. Or, oh, this is mine. Yeah, I'm actually doing my clothes. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm folding clothes and stuff. I should go upstairs and grab my wife and tell her come down here fold these clothes or else. But I do laundry as well. You're right, and that is true. And so that's why I was coming from my standpoint in which I see things and other people as well. But the point of it is coming from both angles and letting guys know, the situation at hand. Because, like I keep saying, when these women pick these guys, they actually know who they're picking. They know who they're dealing with. And for guys that, want to go with these type of women, that's what basically wanted me to spark this conversation. You know, um, the guy, I don't really want to say his name, but the man who overdeals with Pastor $40, he was basically talking about a situation in which, he was getting on about what's a real man, defining a real man. And he kept trying to escalate the conversation as far as about money. And, the more we kept breaking it down, the more he kept going back to the economic side. And Wayne Signing Shit, formerly known as Swim Champ, asked him, a man that's making $40,000 a year, taking care of his family, providing for his family, is he not a good man? Doesn't get in trouble? Doesn't do anything wrong? And his response was, yeah, he's not a good man. I mean, he is a good man. But the point of reference, he kept going back to the economic side of how, as black people, we need to do this and we need to do that. And so-called, I guess he said he owned like 15 houses or something like that by the time he was 26. And I'm like, okay, to a point, you're an outlier. I mean, if you own that many houses, he never explained the situation he was in. And he never explained the situation he was in, as far as to how he got that. And pretty much I can understand. I mean, from him telling us like little bits and pieces of things, his mom actually lived in his grandfather's house that was paid for. And I explained to him, how many guys had that first jump start to where if your mother was single with you, single mother, she's staying somewhere in a house that's paid for. So all she got to do is just take care of you, go to work, pay the bills. Don't have to worry about daycare because either the family's there at the house or, to a situation, someone's there for you, or you can actually go to daycare. You know, your mom has the money because granddad's house is paid for. You got family in the house, like I said, which the family could take care. So that leave her money to actually do more stuff. You went to a good school. In return, he talked about all this, but the point of it is, he never talked about how the money came. You know, so as far as the understanding, you know, he had a good end to where his parents, took care of him. Well, his mother, I guess he said mom was a single mom to the degree to where he had a good life. And like I explained to him, you know, there are men that actually only want to be providers for their families. They want to do more, but it's not obtainable. And at the same time, you got to realize everybody can't be a Robert F. Smith. Who's going to take out the trash in the community? Because we can always say about how we should be building, we should be doing this, but in the return, we should actually be taking care of our own. You know, the way the trash company is, our community needs our trash taken out. You know, where's the trash man in the community? Nah, but everybody from his standpoint has to make 70 to $100,000. Every man is not built to that standpoint. You know, I've known guys who went to college. I've known guys who didn't go to college. They say the college life was not really for them because, they didn't want to study no more. They just didn't want to, actually take that next step and further in their education. Now, but that never stopped them from actually going to get a job, finding them a decent woman, working with that woman, and, ultimately having a good life. My friends that I have now, I would say my two closer friends, they pretty much they got chicks from overseas, as well as me. Got another homeboy that don't. But that doesn't exclude him and the way he deals with his woman in their relationship, you know, because ultimately I look at the woman he picked, that's the woman he's gonna have to deal with. The woman I picked, that's the woman I deal with. Knowing their flaws, if you agree to that relationship, you can't get mad at the outcome. Otherwise, don't agree to the relationship. That's my standpoint. Because at the end of the day, a lot of men always talk about how they get the bad end of the stick. But like I say, if a woman can't cook year one, you with her, you with this lady for 5 years. Come back, get the divorce. You're telling the judge, you're telling all the people that she didn't never cook, she didn't never do this. And the simple question is, at what year she stopped cooking? And you say she never really cooked. So how is that her fault? You married a woman that couldn't cook because she looked good. I heard on Roger Channel the other day was talking so much about a lesbian chick that was in his neighborhood, talking about how good. I was actually not even trying to go on the panel, but when this guy said that the chick was so fine, he'll tell her every day she's beautiful. Now, let's just say that that chick actually wanted to be with him one day, started messing with him. Ultimately, she know he's leading with his heart, and she's gonna know how to play the situation. She's gonna take him for all his money. She's gonna get him to buy so much stuff, do so much stuff for her, and in the end, she never truly really loved this guy. Only thing she wanted was what the guy could give her. Now, who fault is that? Talk to guys online in the back. I talk to them, tell them these same things. Women will shit test you. And it's up to you. Ask questions, don't get caught up. Because when it really counts, a lot of these women, for somebody to take care of them. I mean, as a man, these homosexuals, that's what they do. Look for women to take care of them. Once they get those bad results, they know what they were going for. They just move on. But in that situation, hey, it is what it is. Yeah, because when it comes down to it, man, it's just funny to me. A lot of guys, we want the best outcomes for ourselves, and no joke. I mean, who wouldn't want the best outcome? But are we moving in the direction to get that best outcome? Technically, it's pretty much up to you. The way you look at the relationships, the way you pursue them. That's me how I look at it. I had several bad relationships, dude. Several. When I say several, I do mean several bad relationships. It was to a point, because I got married at 25. It was to a point where I was like, man, these girls is tripping. Like, for one, if they weren't looking at me, what type of job I had, how much money I was making decent money to the point where I could have took care of some women. I could have had several women, did my thing and still made my good money. And the job only would make me more money the more I moved up. But when it came down to it, all these women, they were just after the money part. So it was kind of, difficult to deal with those women of that nature. So I technically had to tell certain women, like, couldn't even tell them what job I was doing. I had to tell them crazy stuff until actually we started getting a little more closer. Then I started opening up, telling them what type of job I do, what money I make and stuff. Because most of the women were just after the money. You know, they wanted that security blanket. And to be honest, in the end, who blame them? You know, what what dude don't want to have themselves in a comfortable situation? You know, when it come down to it, everything's gonna be taken care of. But as us, we know that women are not gonna do that, so we gotta go out there and do it for ourselves. You know, she can take care of you for a little bit. That's gonna be cute to her, how she helping her man, doing stuff for her man. But that luck always runs dry, and that's why I really wanted to have a conversation. And guess he's not coming in. But basically, even going with the whole Kevin Samuel thing, man. I talked about it the other day when I did the video. Um, the lady in the space, not trying to give her no clout. She had put up a video, and it was kind of mixed feelings. It is what it is. To where she was trying to insinuate things about Kevin and this whole domestic and women getting beat stuff. And my thing is this: guys know they touch a woman, they'll go to jail. So hands down, any dude who's willing to go to jail, they pretty much gonna do what they do. But he never say to go beat on a woman. He say that's what they need. He always say that's what they need. And for all the women that have feelings about that, you hit men all the time. And you always say men are big. They can take it. But when that man hits you, you ready to call the cops. You know, and you always ready to call the cops on them. You know, protect. Come back to this whole equal everything to where if a man hits a woman, he needs to go to jail. You got guys taking up saying men shouldn't hit women, but where are the men that say women shouldn't hit men? Where are the men that say she should keep her hands to herself? I'm all for that. My son has probably gotten want to say 3 situations with females, and each time they hit him, he hit them back. One of them he actually got into a fight with the chick, but 2 he got into a fight, and you know, just it didn't turn out right. And for the most part, the chick who he got in the fight with, she pretty much she cool with him now, but she not gonna touch him again. You know, and like I said, I wasn't promoting it, but I always tell my son because my mother told me the same thing. And this came from a woman. Don't never let a girl hit you like a man, because if she hit you like a man, she gonna knock you out. I tell my wife that. Me and her, we had that talk. I said we can play, do all that stuff all day, but when it gets serious, and I tell you stop, you need to stop. Because women sometimes will go a little bit overboard. Sometimes dude will too. But the point of reference is you got to know when to stop before it gets too serious. You know, there was a situation one time I had hit an old man in the nose. He was playing and he was tickling me, and I, real young, elbowed him in the nose and bust his nose, and he went to beating on me. And my mom, she got on him about it, getting on him, telling him he shouldn't be whooping me like that because I shouldn't have been playing with him. And she told him, let my son go. It wasn't like he did it on purpose. I'm talking about nose red, just bust out, blood everywhere. and it wasn't like I meant to do it, but the point of it was a reflex. And some men do have reflexes like that to where you put your hand on them, they're not looking at, oh man, it's a lady. They feeling that pain that you just gave them, and they want to, in return, give that pain back to you. So my rule of thumb is don't play with a man in the first place. You won't get the results. Like I said, I don't think it's right. But in the same time, when you playing back and forth hitting each other, that's the situation that happens. You know, sometimes it goes overboard. And the situation, like I said about Kevin, he's automatically just saying what needs to happen. Because back in the day, when the men and the women were having those type of situations with each other, women never jump to hit a man. Look how many situations we have now in domestic situations where sometimes women are dying or being going to jail for just breaking women's legs, busting their nose all up. What was that lady? Can't remember her name. She had it was Yolanda Binding. I think she was a pastor, something Binding. And I think her name was Yolanda or something Binding, but she was actually a pastor. And she actually was married to her husband and big pastor down here in Atlanta. This lady, she wrote books and everything. And there was a situation in which her husband, I guess, was going through some money troubles and was asking her for some money. And she came to the conclusion, what you want? So she came to the conclusion in which, she wanted to, tell him that she wasn't going to give him no money. And that just was what it was. Ultimately, the husband got into it. Dude beat her down. And, everybody was talking about how bad this pastor beat on this lady. But nobody asked, like, what was the issue or what she did to him. But because she was a woman, they just gave her pretty much the benefit of the doubt in which she was justified if he did something to her, she was going to do something back to him. Even the pastor said it all started off. Yep, it all started off just a little argument to the point where, I guess like I said, she didn't want to give him no money. They were going back and forth. I guess she was more or less not just a breadwinner, but she was a big pastor. Had a big old televangelist type deal to where she make it. I remember one time I seen her on video. She said for people to be blessed, they had to come down to the pulpit and give $1,000. And if you didn't have $1,000, don't come down because you're not going to receive your blessing. So she had about 10 people come down. And after those 10 people came, she said, all right, these are the people that come down that have the $500 blessing. She got all the way down to $100. Then I think that was the last $200. And so I know all the people who gave $1,000 were just so foolish to, like, man, if I knew she was gonna go to 1,000, from 1,000 to 100, I would have just went on and got that $100 blessing instead of giving this $1,000 and getting $1,000 blessing. And man, I was crying, laughing, just looking at the junk, and I'm like, man, like, and it was just crazy though, man. But the dude, like, all it was is just him beating on her. It was nothing that she did, and she came out and said he put his hands on her and all that, but it never came down to the real stories what she did to him. The pastor, he held back for a while. He went on and said it. When she asked him about the money, everything got a little less escalated. She put her hands on him and, shoved her. He grabbed her. They got to swinging. So it was what it was. He was already heated. And he admitted he went overboard. He said he shouldn't have been beating on her like that and all that stuff. But when it come down to it, women will push you to the limit, man. And it's like, seriously, man, you gotta pick that struggle, man. And that's the only thing I hate as far as the relationships, man, when it come down to a lot of, that's why I tell guys, man, I'm not perfect. Like I say, I'm just pushing this message to where if you pick this woman, man, stop going after the women with the ass. I'm not saying you can't find no fine girl with an ass to spend the rest of your life with, but carefully judge them, you know, because I told one guy that women will shit test you. They will do everything to kind of see what they can get away with. I know a dude right now, his old lady don't even stay with him, and he's constantly sending her money, and he's behind on his bills, and he's asking a whole bunch of dudes, look out for him. He going through hard times, but all the guys don't know that he's dealing with this chick and sending her money, and they kind of broke up. Well, not even just broke up; they still together. But I'm just gonna say it's complicated. I don't want to put too much out, but in that situation, man, it's funny. Like, this guy literally depends on you know people helping him out so he can give all his money to the chick. And when I heard about it, I told her, I was like, man, I was like, dude, y'all need to cut this dude off. Because basically, he just sponging off y'all to take care of his old lady. Unless y'all having sex with his old lady, in my opinion, cut him off. Like, don't deal with him no more. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know if he's family or not to them, but I was like, it's even with family, it's hard to do that. But at the same time, you gotta look at the outcome and what you are you gonna go ahead and just let somebody keep sponging off of you, or dealing with you in a way to where you lose money, or when you need nobody's around to help you out, because that's what's going on. A lot of guys are starting to get to a point in their life where they want to have these female image, man. And hey, I'm not. No, I'm a couple guys gonna be trying to come at me about it, but like I say, man, some of these guys need to grow the hell up, man. You know, you can't sit here and deal with these women in this type of fashion, man. Like, leave these hoes alone. Like, hoes are for the streets. I mean, that's a term that actually really means that hoes are for the streets. Stop trying to make these hoes your wife. You know, that girl freak like hell. She know how to curl your toes because she's done it before to several dudes. Like, freaks are freaks. You know, if you want to get married, dude, you got to cut all that bullshit out. Like, stop fucking these hoes. I don't know. It might have been just me, but I had to go on a hiatus. I had to stop fucking with the hoes until I actually found my wife. You know, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to, stop fucking with these bras anyway when I get married, because that's what I want to do. Like I said, everybody don't believe in the same way of marriage. Only reason I look at a monogamous relationship between a woman and a man simply because that's what I believe in God's eyes. So if I really wanted to, I just go out there and find me a chick, tell her I'm gonna get another chick, and that's just what it is. If she don't like it, I move to the next. You know, the thing is to tell the woman what you want her on your program. Don't be afraid to do that. Because like I told my wife, there were some situations to where I tell her, if you're not doing your job and I cheat on you, that's your fault. Because my thing is this: I do everything, as far as protecting the house, paying the bills, looking out for the kids, everything, even far as all the way down to sex. I tell her, pretty much, with me and you getting married, it's like buying a car that nobody else can drive. You took it off the market. The moment you don't want to keep this car up, make sure it's maintained well, somebody else can drive the car. Are you mad? Are you gonna be mad at it? You know, if you're doing what you're doing, I got a 3-day rule. Hey, I give you some breaks. Unless you're on your period or something, you got breaks. But all this. I don't know how these guys deal with sexless marriage, man. Like that's one of my pet peeves, man. Like go to counseling or something, get that shit over. Other than that, man, that's like a big if you heavy on sex, why would you marry someone that doesn't want to have sex? I don't believe when I hear guys talk about they haven't had sex in a while. I just like, what planet are you from, dog? Like you knew this going into the marriage that you needed to discuss all this beforehand. And if you really didn't want to have sex, like it's like things like that, man. But I don't know. Let me drop this link. Got a little time before I actually head out. Yeah. And you're right. When it come down to it, I mean, hey, need and haystack. It's got to be certain women, man. It just I don't know what guys. If you say you want this type of chick, go after that type of chick. You know, I said I want to be married. Like I said, I got married at 25. I want to be married. I want to have a family. Want to have a woman that pretty much wanted to stay married and wanted to have a family. And we both came to the situation of us, you know, taking care of each other, you know, lifelong and doing certain things and making shit work. When I look at a lot of dudes, you know, I hear the same thing. They always want a submissive woman. You know, what what do you define as a submissive woman? Because when it come down to it, I always say everybody got different definitions for everything. Marriage to some people can be 15 years. Marriage to some people can be 20. Some can be life. You know, I seen a funny video of a pastor divorcing two married couples. The woman said she faked it the whole 10 years they was married. The man said after a while he knew it wasn't gonna work, but he still rolled it out until she pretty much, I guess, got the divorce. And the dude also, I think he said he was banging her bridesmaid. And I was laughing at the video. I'm like, man, this is like, what if something happened like this in real life? Man, this would be hilarious, you know, because when it come down to it, it's like that'd be something funny to actually know, like the whole ins and out of the marriage, how you really felt during the marriage. When did the love lose? Most people find that out in counseling before they get a divorce. I think Georgia, if I'm not mistaken, got a law to where if you have kids, that they try to push you into getting counseling before you actually get a divorce finalized and everything, because I guess it's supposed to be in the best interest of the kids. But I don't know, to a degree, if that marriage is heading downhill bad, I don't think it's nothing going to actually pull it back. I mean, it always depends on the person, but man, even with a lot of guys I hear get married on the pretenses because they had kids, that would never be my thing. I told my partner that from the jump. I was like, man, I can't do that. If I end up having a baby with a chick, it is just what it is, and we not married. We're gonna have to work on that. What's going on, BJS?
I'm just listening to you, man, and I know you're a proponent of marriage, man. Just you describing it, man, makes it so complex and convoluted. That's how come most guys just avoid it. It's not simple, and
It's
marriage used
not.
to be simple,
Yeah,
and so
and
that's how come marriage is gonna, is going downhill. It's too complex.
yeah, it's too much of a game nowadays.
That's
Because I
that's
hear
why I
so
got
many people.
That's why guys aren't getting married. I mean, you're trying to say that's what you should do, and that's the right thing to do, and then, you got to go, you got to all these where tos and wherefores and all kinds of stuff. Not the majority of people aren't going to go for that. I mean, it's better to keep your options open, or not even get involved in it. It's too complex,
Yeah.
and your society doesn't your society doesn't support it anymore.
Yeah, because I mean that's like my biggest thing. I try to tell guys, even if they want to get married, they need to
Hmm.
look at all options because I'm tired of hearing like it's a bad deal that you get even before the marriage, when your boyfriend and girlfriend. You see how this chick is playing with the money. She wants you to always buy stuff. She never wants to do anything. This
Hmm.
whole uh traditional man, but you want to be modern. I'm like,
Hmm.
you see the signs. Like I said,
Yeah.
there was a guy yesterday. He was talking about how the lesbian chick in his neighborhood was so fine, and he talked to
Hmm.
her every day and tried to be her. And I'm like, that what made me get on the pen. I'm like, dude, why are you lusting over a chick that you'll never have? Even
That
if
happened
even if she wanted to be with you, she's still gay. Like she's
because
still a lesbian.
that's his imprint. That's his imprint. I know a guy like that. He chased a lesbian for most of his life, but that's his imprint.
Yeah, man. 'Cause even he explained how if he wasn't a man to the point because he didn't have nobody to leave his legacy with far as money and stuff like that.
That's that's him making excuses. Go ahead and tell the truth. You want her because you want her.
Yeah.
Stop beating around the bush and admit it. Okay, you don't want her because she's a wife. You don't want her because she's attainable. You want her because that's what the heart wants.
Mhm. And that's my biggest thing. I try to tell guys, you don't want to get caught up because once you go in there with your heart like that, she got you.
Yeah, well, the thing is, and that's the problem. She got you. So why should most guys sign up for this? And that's what the um I mean, I understand married guys. Married guys have a different agenda, and I say the married guys that are actually happily married are actually lucky. You guys are the lucky few. But
Yeah.
things you guys can never explain why should the most guys sign up for marriage.
No, no, and that's the thing. I wasn't really trying to get so many guys signing up for marriage. I'm just telling them watch themselves where they're trying to get married in the process. That's my biggest thing is, don't fall for this situation. Then you won't be the guy on the other end in 10 years or 5 years talking about the divorce because it didn't work out. That's what I'm trying to get guys to have an understanding
Yeah,
who you're marrying before you go down the aisle.
and the thing is that um, unfortunately, like most contracts, marriage is different. Marriage and family court is different. They don't look at the contract when you signed it. Like, um, say somebody got married in the 1980s, right? And the laws were different, the environment was different when they signed that contract, right?
Yep.
30, 40 years hence, okay, the laws changed, and what you signed back in 1980 is no longer applies, and the judge can do what he wants to do. So you saying I didn't sign up for this? Of course you didn't sign up for this, but things shit changed. That's what happened in 1970. In 1960s, the laws were different when they got married. In 1970, when they changed the no-fault divorce laws, did they take into account the guys that got married under a different contract? No. I'm looking at Dead Set Anime. Dead Set Anime had Trump tight legal protections all up the wazoo, right? He got
Yeah.
married. He had all his property protected. He had a prenup and a postnup all put together, right? Trump tight. Guess what the judge came in and did? Threw all that shit out.
Yeah, man.
So marriage is a gamble, just like anything else. Just like you buy a stock, just like you buy a stock, just like you buy Bitcoin, it's a risk, okay? And especially in the black community, it's a high risk because the divorce rate in the black community is over 70%. There's a
Mhm.
reason that black women are the least married because they divorce more and they divorce, you know, they, and that's the ones that actually divorce on paper because you know, back, you from the South, you know about them walking divorces, right?
Yeah, walk out
Walk out,
and
and
be
never come
gone.
back, but you still married on paper, and be married on
Yep.
paper for the next 20 years.
What was that, Harlem Nights, when he met Sunshine? Told his
Hmm.
wife, "I ain't coming home. Have a good life."
Yeah, yeah. The walking divorce. I know. I had a good friend. God rest his soul, man. He had two walking divorces. Just never filed out. Just one day they just split up and never got divorced. And
Hmm.
and he just got married in different states. Okay, that's all. And that's black people. So uh, the divorce rate will be high if you included the walking divorces. But that's the way black women are. Black women, I listen to black women and how they like to do their relationships. They, the vast majority of them don't intend to stay with one man for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But the thing is that if you go into it, you better have your reasons for going into it and have really solid reasons for going into it, because it's going to be a risk.
Yep. That's why I talk about the no guarantees. But what's going on, Gold Professor?
Hey, peace to the town. Peace. What's happening, BGS?
Hey, what's up, Go Professor?
Hey, I just came up to tell you, she and BGS. I'm getting married in the next hour, brother, in California.
Good. Yeah, well, good for you, man.
Hey man, hey, don't
You
even
guys
troll
ain't
me.
invited, man. I want y'all to be the best men.
All right, man. I'll be there. I'll be
Good,
there.
good for you, man. Ain't no
Yeah.
gun, ain't no gun to your head, is it?
No,
Yeah.
no, no. I want to make she my best man and you my best man as well. Two best men to witness all this.
Mm-hmm. And the best man to get you to that last second, and then
Yeah,
we can get you out of this, man. You know that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Talk to me. Hurry up and talk to me.
Hmm.
Hey man, support, subscribe to PGS and Sheed be here. We know Sheed's Mike Matter. Hey, I'm out, man. I just wanted to holler
Yeah.
at y'all.
All right.
All right.
I know Gold Professor's trying to troll. He always like trolling me because I troll him. It's okay though.
In the next hour,
Yeah. I hope he got them blue simp shoes on.
huh?
He gonna need them. Yeah, man. Yeah, but it's a tough pill, Like I said, I hear guys talking about marriage all the time, man, and I'm like, in this day and time, it was
Mm,
rough for me when I got married, man. Like I said, I
yeah.
I dealt with several women, man, and they oh man, it was horrible.
You can uh you can find a wife. Okay, that's I don't if you really intended on finding a wife, you can find a wife. Um, um, or a woman that's willing to try to be a wife, because they don't train wives very well anymore. So
Nope.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
And you just have to find a woman that was trained to be a wife.
Yeah, because I tell my wife that all the time. I'm like, you just selfish, man. You want what you want. A lot of women, they are like that. She
Hmm.
never says no. Even a lot of women, I say that too. They laugh about it, but they say, "But
Hmm.
but you love us. But you love." I say, "But the point of it is, you can't be selfish in the relationship. It's a give and a take process."
Yeah, yeah. Well, but you love us. The thing is, just because, and I had to find this out. Just because you love a woman and she loves you doesn't mean she's marriage material.
Yep.
Marriage is beyond love. Like Kevin says, marriage is about duty. If you can't do your duty, then you don't need to be a wife. Be a girlfriend for 20 years, but you don't need to
Yeah.
be a wife.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
look at it
Lo-
from that standpoint too.
yeah, love doesn't guarantee marriage. Trust and believe. And I've had women that love me, man, but lousy wives, just not wife material.
Yeah. And then I heard a lot of guys, man, because they put so much time into those relationships. But the point that I always put the nail in the coffin when I ask them, be like, man, so when did you know that she wasn't wife material? And they started going back and like, man, when I first got with her, she did this, and I questioned it, but
Hmm.
I rolled along with it.
Hmm. Yeah, well, back in the day, you could do that. You can't do that nowadays.
Nope.
They got too many doors out, man, and too many ways to get you. So, and the family courts are still on the side of the women. So until this society decides that they want to emphasize marriage, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
And less and less people are actually going to take the risk, because a lot of guys that don't want to get married, they've seen what happened to other people, and I can't blame them.
What's going on now?
Greetings, gentlemen.
Oh, this
Uh,
seafood.
Yes, this is Seafood. Nice to see you, Sheed. Pastor
going on?
$40 turned me on to you, and damn, son, you are bona fide. So I had to stop in for a hot minute to just show some love for my brother.
What's going on, Seafood?
Well, y'all have been motivating me, and I'm actually gonna start doing my own podcast on Monday night.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna drop a video today, which is sort of like an episode 0, so y'all know where I'm coming from. But you know, well, damn, son, I don't get a lot of love from the Black Manosphere, and people that I don't need to name have muted and blocked me because I disagreed with them. But try to shut me up on my own panel, okay?
Okay.
But that's what
Yeah.
you do. That's what you do on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and believe me, I ain't mad at nobody. I'm not doing this just to try to break it off in anybody's ass. I just, shit, man. It's just that, you know, I've been an outsider all my life, and now
Okay.
here I am, an old man, and now Black people are letting me hang out with them again. So I feel like I have to contribute.
Oh, you found your tribe, huh?
Well, who knows? But I'm gonna throw y'all a swerve. Now I was married for 32 years
Mhm.
to a white woman, and it
Okay.
wasn't pretty. And we
Okay.
don't need to get into that. But you
Well,
know, here I am,
how did it last 32 years though?
because it ties into the subject of my live stream Monday, sacrifice. How
Okay.
much do you want to sacrifice to get what you feel will fulfill you?
Okay.
And all the swerve is, yes, I was married all that time and got kicked to the curb, and now I'm married again. But the relationship is almost perfect.
Oh, okay.
And I ain't gonna mention shit about that because I don't want to derail the conversation.
Yeah.
All right.
The thing is, I don't believe anybody can stay with anybody that long without getting something out of it. That's just my, because I've been with a woman 20 years. I've been with somebody 15 years. I've been with even 5. Uh, Nobody stays with anybody unless you're getting something out of a relationship. Even if there's downsides, you got to be getting something out of it. Otherwise, you'd bounce. So, when people tell me I was 32 years and I was miserable, you can't be that miserable because you stayed for a reason. And there's a reason that you stayed. And there's a reason that you held on.
Yes, absolutely, sir. And I'll get into that when I do my own deal. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to jump in here and say hi to y'all. And
All right.
I'm enjoying the hell out of the conversation. And please continue to march.
All right. Oh, C5, man, that guy.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, he's got a voice. So
Yeah. I've been
I'm
on.
not gonna ask him why he got blocked, but
I know why he got blocked, but
okay. It's not that you disagree; it's how you disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own opinion, and everybody wants their 10 minutes of fame, though, man. When the boys down to it.
Well, everybody has a channel,
Yeah.
whether you put some content up or not. Everybody's got a channel, so everybody's got a mic. What thing is, can you get people to come to listen to you? You can put up your soapbox and get your mic out, but How many people can you attract?
Yeah. I had some little topics. I did a little clickbait with your name on it and Kevin the other day. I
Okay.
was actually gonna have that conversation about what we were talking about that day on the panel about marriage, but ended up
Mhm.
having to pushing it to the next day, so it took a turn for the different conversation. But yeah, I know
Uh,
little ways of marketing.
oh, okay. All you had to do is drop me a note. I'd have just shared it.
Yeah, yeah. Because I've been I've been talking to some of these guys. Like, there was a guy that was mad about the list that came out, and I told him, I was like, why don't you start a list pretty much regarding the freshman class, like the new people that are coming in, and like they already have the big list. You have a small list with the people that has under 1,000 subs. I was like, that'll have people more interested in going to see who are the new people, and they can say yay or nay to them and bomb their channel, if they suck or not. I was like, it's just something to go
Why?
out.
They mad. They're mad at me because I published the list. That's all. Because nobody
Yeah,
would know about the list unless I published it.
yeah.
So,
Well,
and there's the email. If you get mad at the list, don't have to go. You actually email the people that put the list out. That's what the email's
yeah.
for.
A lot of people don't know how to put two and two together, though. Ah, man, chew bubble gum and walk at the same time is a hard situation.
I don't agree with the list. Well, put your own list out and put it on your channel.
Exactly.
hmm Everybody thinks they have a right to my channel. You don't have a right to my channel. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Go Professor always shout you out as the data savant.
Yeah, I've
I
heard
told
that.
her, man.
I've
I
heard
said,
that.
man, if BGS was to lead this space, man, I'm like, that's the GOAT. And a lot of guys, I got a little pushback with calling you the GOAT. And I'm like, in the end, how many guys are we going to need? I said, I got two off top, Nameless and Rael. They're going to be the first two to actually come in with the data to kind of help. And we're gonna have to have so many other guys. I'm not naming nobody after that because that's when I know I have to hit my high note for the people in their feelings. But yeah, man, when it come down to it, I say it's gonna be like several guys. You need just to be one BGS. I'm like, are guys willing to work with that? Are guys willing to kind of come to that clarity? Yeah. Because in the end, like I tell you, it ain't even just about relationship. It ain't just about the money, the everything else that you provide for the space, and just more or less kind of the leadership and guys out here looking for dads.
You know what? I mean, I say stuff that rub people the wrong way, so I get that. So I always say, half my subs love me and half my subs hate me, but they all watch.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've never called people. I've never called myself the master teacher ever. I never said I was special. I never said I was perfect. I never said I was the best person on YouTube. Never said any of that stuff. I don't beat my chest. I put the stuff out. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And I've always been that way. So I don't know why people get mad.
Well, I keep referring to, man, these guys and their feelings. Like, take your feelings out of this, man. Just focus on the logic and facts on being a man. That's what we need more of. Because like I keep telling guys, this emotional feeling part is where a lot of guys get caught up. And that's why I keep trying to refer. When I do that Maxwell, I'm doing it to be funny, but I'm also doing it to make you catch yourself. Like, hey, I can't say stuff around him a certain way because he's gonna start telling me I'm on my feelings and I'm not in my feelings. But you are. Like, just cut it out, man. Just deal with guys. I've had guys on Roger panel be like, yeah, man, I know I'm in my feelings a little bit, but man, like, just get out of there. Just start thinking more logically, man. Start thinking about what you're saying and how you're saying it, and then coming at me and on the panel. Well, what you say? He said this about. Like, cut it out, man. Go to bed.
So what I'm saying is, you gotta examine why you feel what you feel and why do you say what you say, and
Yeah.
because I do that all the time. Is what I'm saying correct? Is it accurate? And is there evidence to back it up? So most stuff I put out there, there's evidence to back it up. I don't just say stuff just to say stuff. If we're in a conversation and you ask me what I think, I'll give you what I think off the top of my head. But if I actually put something out that I'm standing behind, there's research behind it. I don't just, I don't, because I actually learned from from my spiritual teacher, right? I said, you trust your teacher to bring you the truth. And that's what I try to bring. And sometimes this stuff is painful, even for me.
Yeah. Because there was a content creator, actually, he was on the panel saying some off the wall stuff, and everybody was just giving him a pass. So, I had to pull him. I said, hey, man, what's the longest relationship you've been in? And when he told me, it was probably like 6 months. I told him, I said, hey, man, cut off the computer, go get in the bed and cut off the light, go to bed. You can't come on here talking about. That's why I was like, you don't have no experience. That's what a lot of guys get their cars pulled. They don't have enough experience in a relationship to actually say how this is going to work, how that is going to work. And I'm like, dude, go around me. Like, that's my biggest thing. Men should be around men, molding each other. That's why I'm constantly being around older guys. I got a group I'm in right now. It's about 5 or 6 guys. I'm the youngest. I'm 38, and I think the youngest over me is like 48. All the other guys are 50 and 60. I think the oldest guy's like 70, 71 or something. And we all kicking and talking all the time. We talk about relationship, man, talk about getting money, business, everything. And I'm like, dude, like, why y'all not out here being vetted by men that can actually help you? Because there was a young man on the panel. I was talking with him. He was saying how old guys and guys in general always give him, bad advice, bad information. I'm like, that's your fault if you choose to accept that stuff that they giving you. Move on. Like, why am I gonna keep going to the bank trying to get a loan and they keep trying to give me a bad interest rate, but I stay to keep going there, thinking and hoping and wishing? Like, man, get out of there. Go somewhere else.
Well, you gotta examine who you are. If you keep going to people that give you bad information, then examine who you are. And why do you run? Why do you run with that crowd? Why does that crowd accept you?
Yep, they can't do it though, because it holds them accountable. But if they actually just keep going to these people and they keep bad advice, they can point the finger at somebody else to where they won't be at fault for it. That's my only thing I keep looking at. Because otherwise, man, go somewhere else. Yeah,
basically, and that's where you get into, that's why when you pull that card, like, okay, well, if that's what you believe, tell me about yourself. Yeah, and that's when the truth comes out.
Yeah, but then a lot of people, they don't want to admit it, man. I mean, even with them knowing more about themselves, they still have this level of just a level of craziness to where they keep feeling in their head they've done nothing wrong, and everybody around them are almost in a sense out to get them.
Yeah, that's self-protection. In other words, you still want to be right, and the only way to do that is to blame everybody else.
And that counseling, I mean, that's a heavy thing that a lot of guys don't want to hear about too, about getting counseling. I mean, I went to counseling when I was younger, and as an adult, I still go to counseling from time to time. There's nothing even wrong with me. I just go to talk about different things that I've been going through. Mostly my feelings, so I can keep them off these panels and stuff. So I'm good. Keep my feelings off the panel.
You need a neutral ear.
Yeah. Go to my therapist for that. I don't need my feelings on the panel.
So I call it the therapist, the closet cleaner. In other words, everybody has a dark closet where they hide stuff, right? That's what the therapist is for. They actually open the door and help you turn on the light, help you clean out their closet.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good boost right there. Because a lot of, like I say, a lot of men, man, if they got to the point of they start elevating their mind, start, looking out for themselves, because Gold Professor always talk about Gold Professor's 9 laws of self-government.
Mhm.
And that rule number 3 is applying selfishness, you know. And a lot of guys don't understand that when I tell them about it or I talk about it, because they're from a whole standpoint of I can't be selfish, you know. I gotta help, I gotta do this because that's how I was taught. Like, man,
No,
I
yeah,
told guys
yeah. Go ahead.
that
I'm sorry.
when I apply selfishness in my relationship with my wife, if
Mhm.
I don't sit here and worry about myself, keeping myself healthy, when it comes
Mhm.
down to it, how can I actually go out there and make the money?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What do they say? In fact, therapists mention it all the time, right? It said if you're on an airplane, right, and something happens and the mask drops down, and you have a child, what do they tell you? No matter what you think, you have to put the mask on yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
because if you die, the child will die. So that's what they said. You have to put yourself first, and then share yourself with everybody else.
Yep.
But
And a
if
lot
you're
of
not
people,
healthy, if you're not healthy, then the people around you won't be healthy.
yeah, a lot of people lose touch on that. And even with him, with that first rule is being disciplined. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't have that discipline and all that stuff because even like with me, you know, when I get to a certain weight, I start cutting back on my carbs, you know, start eating a certain way. So I like my weight to be at least about 2 something because I'm pretty decent right here at this weight.
Mhm.
Really I'm 275 and I actually cut back down to 265.
That's a little big, man. How tall are you?
Yeah, 5'10", well
Oh,
5'11".
come on, man.
Man, I like this weight though.
Yeah, but that's not healthy, man. Come on.
Yeah, I can still move. I like it. You know,
Now,
I'm getting
and
down.
I know you like it, unless you're Charles and
Yeah,
you bench pressing 485.
nah, I ain't in the gym like that.
Well, if you're going to be 275, you need to be in the gym like that. No,
Yeah,
that's too big. That's not healthy.
yeah.
If you're going to be 200, you should be no more than 200 pounds.
See,
If you're
that's what I'm looking
5'11".
at, 225. That's why I'm getting back down to 225. That's gonna be my good weight.
Okay, well, if you're in the gym and you're lifting, yeah, 225 is a good weight. If you want to be a
Yeah,
linebacker and you're actually exercising and you're putting on muscle, 225 is a good weight. Other than that, you need to be 200.
yeah,
You don't want to be 270. You don't want to carry that weight, man. I'm telling you.
yeah. Bad for your knees and your back. That's what I be.
Knees, back, hips, hips especially, unless you want to have hip surgery. You know, when you get 50.
Yeah, I seen old people that when I used to have my personal care business. I used to have, well, not personal care, but transportation. I used to have a
Mm.
lot of older people having hip replacements.
Yeah, yeah. At that weight, man, you begging for a hip replacement.
Yep.
So you better cut it down, man. Cut it down.
Yeah.
Because the work you do is physical, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you're gonna wear out them joints.
Yeah,
You're
'cause
gonna wear
that's
out
why
those
I
joints,
actually
huh?
that's why I cut back from moving furniture and just started doing deliveries because
Mm.
me moving furniture, I was good at it, but once I had hurt my back like twice, I was
Hmm.
like, man, I ain't gonna be no good to these kids, man. Because I got my 2 younger kids, ain't gonna be no good for them.
Yep, that's a young man's game.
Yeah. The money though, man. Whew. That was
Yeah,
my
yeah,
big cap out
yeah.
pay right there.
Yeah, but yeah, what that means you're a bigger hoe. That's all it means.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right
The
about that.
bigger the hoe, the more money.
Yep.
That's nameless. Yeah, he needs more lean muscle mass. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At 5'11", 275, man, that's way too big.
Yeah.
Unless you're a nose guard, man, and you playing in the NFL.
Yeah, I keep myself on a balance, man. I keep a good little balanced diet, and I work a little bit. I don't
You
work out
you
too
can't
much.
you can't be 275 with a balanced diet, man. Come on.
Hey, man. Hey,
Come
beer,
on.
and steak and potatoes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Talking
That's a
about balanced
balanced
diet
diet.
at
Hey,
275.
man. That's good enough for a growing man.
It did,
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 more years, you're gonna be old, man. 2 more years, you better knock that off.
Yeah, man. I already said that. Once my wife hit 40, she was having all these plans on going all over to Jamaica and New York, and I'm like, man, you better sit down somewhere. Like, nah.
How old is your youngest?
10. I got twins. The twin boys, they're 10, and I got my two oldest, 21 and 23.
Okay. Yeah, she got a minute to go. She got about before she talk about doing all that kind of stuff. She got to wait till these kids get at least into high school.
Yeah, the twins was over in Jamaica for a whole month with her grandma,
Okay.
and then she went for about like a weekend. I
Okay.
told her she can go on the weekends and stuff, but I know she's gonna go to New York next. Just kick it up there, then she's gonna come back down and go to Jamaica again.
Okay.
Because we supposed to be going to Jamaica for October around our birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, but she move around a little, and I told her, it don't be no big problem because I have a little work and stuff I'm doing. As long as it ain't messing up my schedule, I told her she can go ahead and go.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause my twins, boy, them boys, they didn't even want to come back. They was like, why can't we just go ahead and go to school over here? I'm like, man,
Well,
nah. I wanted them to because their grandma, they are moving over there actually, but the mom she's not the most responsibilist, so.
Oh, talking about the grandma?
Yeah, she a big kid, man. She had them boys over there doing anything they want to do. I was like, nah. She let them do what they do half of the time now. That's what they're like, nah.
Oh,
Man.
okay. That's why they want to be there.
She wanted them. Yeah, she wanted them grandmas.
Okay.
But when she was raising my wife, she was all disciplined this and get it this and that. But
Okay.
now she's older, she want to let them have fun. I'm like, nah. No structure, man. Them boys would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be looking at the Jamaican movie, The Shotties, when they come back over here. What up, man? Yeah.
Well, you can let them spend the summer.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing. That's what they just did this summer, and I told I let them do it every summer.
Okay, that's enough.
Because they I think her husband's actually building the house over there. So
okay.
Yeah, gonna have them some time over there a lot with the family and stuff over there. Because most of our family's over here, but she still got quite a bit over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, summer's good enough. That's what in the city, that's what we used to do. They send us down south for the summer.
Yeah, that's what we used to do back in the day. To go to the country.
Go to the country, yeah. So it's no different.
Yep. Because I actually was born out west, out there in New Mexico. I used to go to Cali, Arizona. I got a sister; she's still out in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hot as hell out there too. Every time I go there, man.
Oh, in Arizona?
Yeah, she keep trying to get us to move out west. I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, the storms and everything is cool down here, but ain't nothing like that heat. I don't like heat. You can put on more clothes. You can put on more clothes, man, but that heat, you can't take enough off.
Well, Atlanta in the summertime is no joke.
Yeah. And just add that to, especially with the humidity down here is bad too.
Yeah.
When you add that going into what Cali got with their heat, that's on a whole nother level.
It depends on what part of Cali.
Yeah.
Because it's 70 degrees here year round, so it very seldom gets into like the 90s.
Well, I mean not Cali, but Arizona. That's what I'm
Arizona, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fortune. That's why I'm about to get ready. I was waiting on this guy to come up. He was actually talking about he wanted somebody was in my send me an email, wanted to talk something about Kevin Samuels and that situation with that girl was talking about with the petition and all that stuff.
Oh, good Lord. That's not going anywhere. And
Yeah, I
we
know
give it
that.
we give it way more press, way more time than we should have.
Yeah. I mean, to
Yeah.
me, like I said, it just looked like more or less like she was just trying to get some subs. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, well, good for her. She's no different than anybody else. So good for her.
Yeah, because Kevin name, it rings bells to get the people start, subscribing. And
Mm-hmm.
what's over? Love Dorsey too. A lot of guys, they make content off of her videos because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people flock to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that's part of the game. So,
Yeah,
but if she had any kind of if she had any kind of jack or any kind of case, she could have went directly to YouTube. If YouTube, as strict as YouTube is, if YouTube doesn't take you down, then anything else is not going to work.
yeah.
I don't care how many people sign a petition. If YouTube doesn't feel you need to come down, they're not going to take you down.
They're making so much money off of that this content.
Oh, they are making money, but YouTube got feminist censors. So if
Yeah,
YouTube feels you need to come down, they will take you down.
yeah, because they hit Dr. Dunbar so quick. I was like, whoo. I
Yeah.
was in there watching the video when they took it down. I clicked off of it and I was like, yeah, let me go do something. I'm about to come back and watch it because I think I was in there for the first like 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I came back over, I think I got something to eat or something. Came back, the video was gone. I was like, what happened?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they'll take it down in a heartbeat. Yeah, if Kevin's too careful, man. Kevin, he reads those terms of those community guidelines and stuff like that. He reads them very carefully.
Yeah.
So he stays well within his guidelines. So her saying that he's outside the guidelines is not true.
Yeah.
So her odds to get him off is really, really slim. That's why I never paid attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we know her, because Goldie was on on Rogers' channel for a long time.
Yep. Yeah. Even the old professor even said that he was like, yeah, she moved different.
Mm-hmm.
And her and Gold Professor had it out after that. They didn't really talk too much. And hey, I told her, I was like, I emailed and talked to her a couple of times. Like, hey man, this stuff that you talking about, it ain't gonna fly. Like what you trying to prove and go from here? Because I'm just laughing at the situation because I'm like, you're not really proving anything. It's all hearsay.
Yeah, and she's got the personality of a kumquat, so you're not really going to attract a whole lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. Certain women find it entertaining to go over there and have their little spew.
Yeah, you'll find a few.
Yeah, because even time I tell them, I say, just like Go Professor, I always say, the behavior, everything he's referring everything to goes back to behavior. Like, in the end, you can't deny the black woman's behavior. You can say, well, he said this and he said that, but is the behavior that the women displaying, is it true, false? What's the narrative?
Mm-hmm.
You can't run from that.
No, we can't.
Yep. Because she was in there talking about how black men need to go marry big girls, and I'm like, so that means you should date a guy that's abusive. She's like, well, no, that's something mental. That guy needs help. I said, yeah, a big girl, she's mentally hurting herself. She needs help. Because when it comes down to it, if a big girl knows, in order for her to get married, she got to go and lose weight. By her not losing weight, she don't want to be married. Simple. And she didn't like that. And I'm like, I don't know what to say to you, because you trying to force guys to marry women with that, but you should be telling those women to lose weight if they want to get married. Because I mean, that's the thing. If they want to get married, lose the weight.
Yeah, which they care more about their food than they do about their than they do about their man.
Yep, food.
They want to eat. They want to eat. Yeah, no food. Yeah. See, if you want to call it that. There's 3 things modern black women love: sex, drugs, and food.
Yeah.
That's their downfall. because it,
Yep.
because they have too much anxiety. So this, what they're doing is not conducive to their mental health.
Yeah, because in the end, all they doing is hurting themselves. Because the long run, like I keep telling most people, like it tells certain women I deal with on the side, and I talk with them.
Hmm.
It's one of the little chicks I know. I used to talk to her from school. We were real close, and she was telling me about one of the dudes she was kicking with. That
Hmm.
every time she had an event or something, dude didn't want to deal with her, but he
Hmm.
was always pulling up to the house, every so
Hmm.
often. So I
Okay,
told
she's
her,
a
I was
jump
like,
off. She's a jump
yep.
off. Yeah. Okay.
And so I told her,
She
I was like, well,
she knows she's a jump off. So
yeah. Nah, she thought she like the dude. He was on and off with it. I guess he was giving her mixed signals. So I
no,
told her, I
no,
said, well, if
no,
that's the case, just
no, no.
yeah,
And if he pulls up at a certain time of night, she knows she's a jump off, and the girlfriend's probably told her that she's a jump off. So don't even believe that hype. I said, didn't your girlfriends warn you about that? Because I know they talk to you.
yeah,
I know women. I know they talk to you. So you know what you know where you stand. The D must be that good.
yeah,
Same thing with dude messing with the crazy chick.
yeah. Yeah, well, I told her, I was like, well, if the dude really serious about you, I was like, just take all this shit, put it in the box, and give it to him. And if he really want to deal with you, he'll come back.
Yeah,
Dude,
and in 10 more years, Sheed, you won't even say that. You be just like I'm saying. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Stop it.
yeah.
Deal with reality, okay? Why? What is it that he has that you keep letting him come back like that? Time for you to go.
Nah, that's
Time
one
to
of
go.
my kids' tutor.
Okay.
Shelly, here, come talk to the tutor. Yeah, it's one of my tutor for my boys.
Okay.
Actually got him a tutor because they need to be doing more work.
Okay. What's he lacking in?
One's math, and the other boy he's reading.
Okay.
So it's like because they twins, man. It's weird. One like
Hmm.
math, one like reading. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Math is not. Yeah. Math is just more effort. Reading is just just doing it. Because my nephew didn't like to read. That's how come I got him comic books. I used to get him comic books and make him read them, and um, then actually ask for a review on them. I made my kids write book reports. Read the
yeah.
book, give me a book report.
And see, I started that at first,
Hmm.
and they were doing that real good before I actually started working more. And
Hmm.
then they slacked off on it, and now they got to the point where they learned a little cheat code to where they'll just,
Hmm.
if no one's around, they'll just copy stuff out of the book and
Yeah.
do it that way.
No, well, they can copy stuff out of the book things, but they have to write a book report. They have to do it in their own words, and a lot of
Yeah.
times, what I used to do is, and when I question them, right, I pick up they said they read the book, so I open up a page and start uh, asking them about stuff that went on that page, and then if they know that I'm gonna just pick out a page and ask them
Oh,
a
so,
question about it, guess what they have to do? They have to read it more carefully.
yeah. Sorry about that, son, Claude. I ain't checked in.
Peace to the chat, peace to the panel.
Hey, so
Hi BGS, hi Sheed. You know what, Sheed, these impromptu panels that you have, I think they're incredibly helpful, especially when it comes to dealing with marriage, because at one time I wanted to be married when I was a whole lot younger, and I kind of got away from that. And I don't know if I still want that goal or not. I don't know if that makes any sense.
why do you need to be married?
You see, that's part of the I don't know if I want to or not.
Well, if you
My
don't want to,
grandparents were married to the day they died.
okay,
My parents were only married for about 6 or 7 years.
okay.
Um, so
Your
I
grand,
saw the pretty side from my grandparents.
they needed each other though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what my parents came into was a change of environment, actually a change of country.
Mm. Okay.
They
Oh,
were
okay.
raised in a different culture with different standards. And when they came here,
Where'd your grandparents come from?
the Dominican Republic,
Okay, yeah, it's different.
and they lived there all their lives.
Oh, well, that's completely different culture, different environment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then after my parents got married, they came to live here in
Okay.
the United States. So
Yeah. 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 Well, yeah. You change the environment, then what worked in the DR doesn't work here.
and my grandfather was a preacher.
Yeah.
So it's something about the environment that
Yeah.
that had a big
Yeah.
effect, and I can't ignore it. I really can't ignore it.
Yes. All over the world, change the environment. The culture has to support marriage. If it doesn't support marriage, guess what's going to happen to marriage? It's going to disintegrate. That's what's happening.
Exactly. And on a lot of panels, Black Uru, when he comes on, he says that because there's no mechanism to ensure that the marriage continues.
Mm-hmm.
In order to settle city disputes, in order to let the couples know, you know what, this stuff that you guys are fighting over, you know, it's some petty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Go back home. So we don't have that in the United States right now.
What incentive does a woman have to stay married?
As of right now, none.
Exactly. That's like if she leaves, and you're always on the hook, right? In other words, you always got to cater to her, because if you don't cater to her, guess what's going to happen? You're gonna leave, and she leaves with your money and your kids.
And now that I'm thinking about it right now, of my mother's siblings,
Mm-hmm.
only one of my uncles is still married.
Okay.
So my two aunts are divorced,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just
Who
my uncle.
who filed for the divorce? Your uncles or or their aunts?
In one case, it was one of my aunt's husbands because she was a bit unstable,
Oh, okay.
and in my mother's case, I probably think most likely it was her
Okay.
because I had to kick her out of my house.
Okay. All right.
So it was most likely her.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's like the bad part about it. Most men won't divorce a woman till just like too far gone. Other than that,
Mm-hmm.
they'll try to make it work,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it's for the kids or just in general, for their benefit.
But I was thinking the other day when you were talking about selfishness, and I was listening to Gold Professor,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, it's a lack of selfishness on the part of the men, that they don't care enough about themselves to get walked over by somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't value what you bring. Most men don't value what they bring to the marriage, and they think it's just money. They think it's just a job. Um, they think it's protection. That's part of it, right? But the thing is, most men don't realize how much emotional support you actually bring to a woman. Like, I'm sure she's married. I'm sure you have to listen to your wife talk for at least an hour a day. Just talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not no more. But I mean, every once in a while, she come to me and tell me about little stuff that go on because she's at home, so she ain't got no ordeals at the job.
Mm-hmm.
If it'll be something, it'll be mainly about family and
Mm-hmm.
every little small conversation or something like that. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
gotta hear it, and
Yeah.
that's an emotional drain.
Yeah. And that's emotional support that you bring. And the more
Yep.
she talk, like you, if she only does it once in a while, you're lucky. Okay. Most women is like, okay, at least a couple hours a day. You just have to listen. She's gonna drone on, and if you don't listen to her, she's gonna get pissed. But that's emotional support that most guys don't think they provide. They think the woman's actually providing emotional support. But most women, it's like 15 minutes of conversation and a pat on the head, and you're good. Okay, most men are good, so they don't really have to do the same kind of emotional support that men do. But most
Yep.
guys don't actually take that into account. Just me listening to you is I'm providing something to you. I'm providing value to you.
Yep. I mean, because that's like one of the biggest things, with a lot of guys, not only you have to work, then you have to come home, hear her, come home,
Mm-hmm.
deal with the kids,
Mm-hmm.
some women, they they get these guys into a situation where they have to cook. Like I told you, my wife tried to pull that on me one night, was like, it's your turn. I was like, when did we start doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, I'm tired.
Okay.
Okay.
All
What
right.
that mean? Like I said, either you're not gonna go buy nothing or you're gonna cook. Either or, I'm not cooking.
Oh, no. Basically, because at the time, what were you doing? What was your job?
Same as now, just doing deliveries and stuff like that. But see, it came to that scenario where she wanted to try to push that because every once in a while I always cook, and then if
Yeah.
she was smart like she normally do, she'll hint to me grilling, and that what
Okay.
makes me go, well, she get a day
Oh,
off.
what I'm saying is that okay. Um, what you do is heavy lifting, right? You have to do physical
Yeah.
work, right? Okay.
Uh huh.
Okay. I'm tired. I don't want to cook. You cook. Okay. Flip her the keys. Okay. Tomorrow you got to go out in the truck.
Mhm.
And that, because I'm tired of lifting this heavy stuff and doing all these deliveries, and I get tired too. So I'll take your job, you take mine.
Yeah. 'Cause I told my cousin that me and him are having a conversation, and
Mm.
it came down to a point where his wife was like, "Why you don't listen to me?" And he was like, "What?" He's like, "Just let me lead." And I started laughing, and I told her, I was like, dudes don't get no days off. We got to be the man whether we like it or not. You
Yeah.
women, y'all want leadership when it's convenient, but when it gets
Yeah.
tough, you
Yeah.
want to bow down. It's your turn today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you let me lead. Okay. All right. You want to lead. Okay. And this is what you need to do to lead. Okay. Um, whatever the budget is, who makes the most money? Okay. Okay. This is what you got to do. These are the bills that you need to pay. These are the hours that you need to work. So you want to lead. Here's the bills. Here, here's the mortgage. Whatever it is. Here's all the responsibilities that I have. Okay. They're yours now. Okay. This is what you need to do. So I'm gonna leave you to it. Go figure it out.
Yep.
That's what you need to do to lead. If you want to lead, fine. Go ahead. Here it is. And I'll listen. I'll follow.
Yep. All,
Yeah.
all those extra hours you got to put in because
Mm-hmm.
something needs to get paid or a second
Uh-huh.
job, you do it.
Mm-hmm. You do it.
You
Yeah.
know, when the tire needs to be changed, there go the jack. It's in the back.
Yeah. Because you don't realize most black men, and this is what they found out because they've actually done studies, right, about women working, especially black women working. Most black men can take care of a house more efficiently than women. They can cook, they can clean. In fact, men will actually figure out how to do the job more efficiently than women do.
And it's funny you say that, BGS. When my twins were born, I just started my company
Mm.
when I was doing transportation.
Uh-huh.
And me and my business partner, we didn't see eye to eye, so we ended up ending it.
Okay.
I didn't work for probably about 4 to 6 months. So
Right.
within that 4 to 6 months, every time my wife came home, the dishes were washed, all the clothes were folded up, washed, and everything. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about nothing was out of place. The living room, even though we had twin boys, they
Mm-hmm.
both changed them, fed them, put them in the bed. They would sleep. My
Mm-hmm.
two oldest kids, they came in, helped them with their homework, cooked all the dinner. My wife, she got off probably 10 o'clock. So by the time she got home,
Mm-hmm.
everything was done. Food was on the table for her because I knew she was coming in at a certain time. I call her before she get there. So I made sure to go ahead and warm up her food, put it on the table, go
Mm-hmm.
grab my beer and stuff, and I'm chilling, watching TV,
Mm-hmm.
And she like, dang, like
Mm-hmm.
I did that for probably like a good little 4 to 6 months on that until I
Mm-hmm.
went and got me a job.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I let her take off work for a year. Man, that house was in chaos. I was like,
Yeah, because men take on men actually, because they're logical, they take on housework or any kind of task as a job. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How can I, number one, how can I make this job more efficient? Get the same thing done with less time and more efficiency. So what do I need? Okay. What is my schedule? What do I need? How do I keep things clean? How do I get things folded up? What tools will make the job faster? Women don't do that. They just, women try to multitask, right? They try to be on the phone. They try to uh, do other things, and they follow routine. They don't try to think about how you can make the job better. Men come in and thinking, how can I make this job better? Because I don't want to be 8 9 hours doing the same thing. So how can I do the job faster tomorrow than I did than I did yesterday or the day before? And slowly but surely, I'm sure you found out a routine and a method that actually worked faster. That's probably what you applied, right?
Yep.
Yep. That's what men do. That's what they found out, which pisses women off. I think there was one woman, I think she was in Great Britain, right, where her husband worked from home and she worked on the outside, and the house was a mess and stuff like that, and she had to talk with him, that she needed help and she needed him to do certain things, and he said, okay, if you get me these things, okay, if you buy me these things, these kind of tools, I will actually get everything done. And so she one thing she did, she stopped trying to get him to do things her way. She said, if you stop trying to let me do it my way, and you buy these certain items, the house will be straight. And so she stopped trying to make him do things her way, and then she bought him the things that he needed to run the house, and within like 3 months, all of a sudden it was a big change. The house was actually better than she could run it. And then she got mad because the house wasn't ran her way. And her therapist said, you have to let him do it his way. And that's the biggest thing that women don't want to do. They want you to do the house, but they want you to do the house the way they do it, and not the way
Yeah.
that you do it, and which gives you the same result. Because men say, I don't. A man will come in and say, I don't care how you do it, player. Okay, as long as it's this way, when I walk in the house, I don't care what you had to do to get it done.
Yep.
I don't even want to know. Just get it done. And when I come in, as long as it's done, I don't care how you do it. As long as you haven't stole nothing, broke nothing, no cops come to the house. If you get it done a certain way, as long as I don't see it, it's not messing up anything, get it done. Women don't feel that way. They want you to do things their way. And that's the problem that they have. I don't like how he runs the house. I don't like how he does this. That's not your job. All your job is to go out, work, provide, and then let that person run the house the way they see fit, as long as you get the results.
Yeah.
What happened? What, he left? Okay.
Yeah. He said he had to drop down.
Okay. All right, She, you got to go, man. I know you said you're ready to go. You got to go to work.
Yeah. No, I'm finna go take my kids to my friend's house and let them go jump in the pool for a minute. But yeah, I'm about to get ready to close this out.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, then. I'll be hollering at you.
Typical dumb female. Well, women are just like that, man. It's not just black women. Women are like that.
Yeah, man.
Women are not good at running at controlling the house. Okay, because only what they're finding out is that women as providers, okay, women are not good at treating men like husbands, right? If they're there's only 2 roles for women, right? There's 3 roles for a man, right? There's husband, there's wife, and children, right? For a woman, there's only her and children. Okay. If the man's not providing, he becomes a child. If he becomes a child, that means she has to tell him what to do and control him. And that's the problem that women are facing. They have to get out of that role. And it's not just black women, it's all women. They're not used to being in a provider role and allowing the man to be autonomous. They treat the men like children, and that's the problem.
Back in the discipline. Like,
yeah.
All right, BJS, I'll holler at you later.
All right, doctor, I'm going to drop down.
All right.
All right.
And like I say to everybody, this is another one. We here, we gone. Shout out to everybody that came in the building that fell through. another conversation talk, meeting other minds, you know. Once again, man, we here, we gone. Shout out to everybody coming through. Seafood with the hidden names. Sir, that's everybody. And shout out to everybody coming through. Y'all check out each other's channels, man. And till next time, we here, we gone.